We need to hear this again. Make way to the assembly point, located in the Market car park, adjacent to the Civic Suite building. Please do not return to the building unless given permission by the council staff or possibly a fireman. I would like to remind you to please switch off your mobile phones or turn them to silent. Please note that the meeting will be live streamed, where the proceedings are capable of repeated viewing. Please ensure that your microphone is switched on when speaking and you speak clearly into the microphone. Once finished speaking, you can please switch off the microphone to avoid feedback noise. If you are seated in the public area of the chamber, it is likely that your image will be captured by the recording cameras and result in your image being part of the broadcast. If members are for any reason not present for the whole debate on an item, you should consider whether it would be appropriate for you to vote on that item. May I also remind members to declare any interests and the nature of the interest at the beginning of an agenda item, and that on declaring an pecuniary interest, that you're required to leave the room when that item of business is considered. Right. Item 1, apologies from absence and substitute members or non-members attending. We have Councillor Angelina Marriott attending as a non-member, and we have a substitute, Councillor Stuart Wilson, sitting in for Councillor Webb as Vice Chairman of the meeting this evening. Are there any other apologies for absence? Members? No? Do you want to give his apologies? Oh, right, sorry. Oh, yes. Apologies received from Councillor Milne and Councillor Webb. Right. Item 2, minutes of the meeting held on the 6th of February 2025. Are the minutes of agreed members? I'll sign them. There we go. Item 3. Any declarations of interest, members? No? Okay. Item 4, public questions on notice. There has been none received. Item 5, the Chair's report. Have you all read the Chair's report? Yes? Particularly want me to read it again? No? Okay. Do you have any questions on this item? No? Okay, so that's just noted. Item 6, One Team Transformation Programme Q4 update. Members, we will now consider the report of the Director of Policy and Transportation relative to the update on the One Team Transformation Programme Q4. Greg Campbell, will you present the report, please?
Thank you, Chair. Good evening, members. Just a couple of things. This is the Q4 report and the annual report of the transformation work with One Team that we undertake with ourselves here at Rochford and Brentwood. It sets out what we've been doing for the last year, what else we're up to in this report, identifies some of the work that's been undertaken following a staff survey, or the staff survey identifies the staff that have left over the last year and reasons why that was. That was put in there. That was a request is in there as well. And it also identifies that one error in the report I need to point out is we've had a report from the East of England Local Government Association, which is referred to 1.7. That was following a peer review at Brentwood last year. In the report here, it says, and presented to committee. It is, and is being presented to committee. It's going on the 29th, and that's my error. Apologies for that. So that Elgar report is going to committee at Rochford in April. Happy to take any questions, Chair, members.
Do you have any questions, members? Oh, Councillor McPherson.
Thank you, Chairman. I was actually trying to find the minutes that I read of the most recent Brentwood meeting, because there was a discussion around how LGR is going to affect the one team going forward. Is that going to be included in future updates? And I don't know if the officer can give us any feedback around that. Thank you.
Thank you, Chair. Thank you. Yeah, good question. I think LGR is out there. We all know it is. It certainly needs to play a factor in some of the decisions, the big decisions that we're making in there. And it is now one of the strategic risks. It's not on this individual risk register, but a strategic risk that we need to make sure that whenever we're making decisions, that are certainly big decisions across the two authorities, that we consider that as part of it. Whether it comes forward as part of this report, I'm not sure. Maybe if there's individual something specific comes up, it will get included. Otherwise, I think it's going to be part of a bigger report that will probably go to probably the Strategy, Finance and Asset Committee, I think, is the one that's more likely to go to, if I'm honest.
Councillor McPherson.
Sorry, and just one more thing, because of sort of the possible impact this will have on staff, I think that will come back in this report, won't it? Thank you.
Greg?
Thank you. Yes, again, and that is part of that bigger risk that we've identified. What is going to be the impact of LGR on staff morale, whether it affects actually numbers of people leaving, looking for different positions. We've got to think of all that, and you're right, we need to make sure it's included so we can refer to that as well.
Question, Greg. Will there be any sort of working group or task and finish group to be set up to look at the staffing when local government reform comes about, so we are proactive and in front of it? Let's come back.
Thank you, Chair. You've stumped me with that one, because I do not know at the moment if there will be one set up at this point in time. I know at the moment the interim proposal, as we all know, needs to go back to government on the 21st, and there's a meeting tomorrow night at Rochford to decide and agree that. There are working groups that are being set up at the moment, looking at different aspects. I know that is a consideration, whether it will be actually individually. Councils have their own working group. I think we should certainly, and I know our HR will be looking at that, and how do we continue to attract and make sure that our staff feel valued and stay with us, because there will be jobs at the end of it. At the joint, whatever happens, doesn't mean everyone will go. So I think we just need to make sure we don't lose local government as a whole, a good staff along the way.
Okay, maybe that's something we can suggest for the future. Maybe Scrutiny Performance, set up a working group, maybe next year or something. See what happens tomorrow evening. Thank you. Any other questions, members? No? Thank you very much, Greg. I think that report's just for noting. Right, members, item 7, the Dementia Working Group update. Members, we will now consider a report of the Corporate Manager, Communities, relative to an update on the Dementia Working Group. Kim Anderson will update the committee. Thank you, Kim.
Thank you very much, Chair. This is just an information report on the progress of the Dementia Working Group. We've had 2 meetings, I believe. So the first meeting was to kind of agree the terms of reference and areas that we would focus on, and the meeting that we had last week was to look at the draft action plan, where we're focusing on 3 key areas. So that's people. So that's looking at dementia awareness training across a whole raft of partners, members, schools, businesses, etc., as well as promoting Dementia Awareness Week in May. Then we've got process, so that's how we can support residents, for those with dementia and their carers, to complete things like attendance allowance, as well as, you know, what support is out there in their locality. And part of that is the development of a Ageing Well publication that is coming out through the South East Essex Alliance. And then the final area that we're focusing on is place. So this focuses on signage within facilities and around the town centres, and also map what activity is going on around. So we were looking at fraud, banking hub support, dementia cafes, and also to undertake a dementia audit of the council's public buildings. So we can utilise the Community Connect vehicle when we're doing various engagement programmes, but also look at our leisure facilities and make sure they're as inclusive as possible under the new leisure contract that we've got. I'm happy to take any questions.
Members, do we have any questions? I've got one. Just for some clarification, really. When Councillor Brewer put this motion forward at full council, it was to report back, if I remember correctly, to full council again before the end of the year. But the housing and communities and wellbeing have got it in their paperwork to be reported back to them. Just like some clarification who we actually report back to.
I'm happy to report back to full council.
Yeah. Councillor Shaw.
Thank you. Regarding dementia training, have you gone to Essex County Council? Because they actually give out free training, dementia training, and I've done it, where you have to put on the bodysuits to act like it's horrendous what you have to do, but it is a good training, so people who don't know anything about dementia actually can understand a very small part of what having dementia is, and they actually do that now and again free to councillors.
Thank you. Would you like to come back on that?
We are working with Alzheimer's Society at the moment to do some face-to-face training with people, but I think we're also trying to get hold of the dementia bus as well, which is, again, it kind of does the same thing, but I think there's a cost to that, so we're just seeing whether it's available that we can do at some of our engagement sessions.
Yes, of course.
Actually, what I asked was, have you gone to Essex County Council? Because being an Essex County councillor, so I've got to, I will do an interest. They do this training and it is free. So that's my question was, actually, had you gone to Essex County Council? Because I can't, yeah, by all means, go out to other organisations and pay for it. If there's some free training out there, let's grab it.
Okay, off.
Alzheimer's wouldn't charge, so it would be Mark Neville that actually did a presentation to here. So he was quite, he basically said that he would do the training for members. But I will contact, if you've got a contact at Essex County Council, I'm happy to contact them as well.
Yeah. Can I just come back off? I think Councillor Shaw, this is more of a sensory training. So, yeah.
We've got so many rooms in county that can be used. It's exactly like the bus, and they only do a couple at a time because of what you have to do. You have to go, they put you in the suit, they actually do as if you're having dinner, they actually give you false money, they give you a list of what you have to buy, and then you have to walk along one of our corridors, and I did it, and it was absolutely horrendous for what the dementia people must feel like, and it's only a small part, obviously, what they feel like, but it's there. And I've been on to RDC I did this in 2023, so I've actually been on to RDC saying this was available, and nothing unfortunately has happened, Chair.
Thank you, Councillor Shaw. I'm sure we could probably look into that. Thank you. Councillor Brewer.
Thank you, Chair. Yes, I was aware, perhaps I should have brought this up at the working group meetings, I'm sorry. I think, however, our original basis was to start getting the fundamental training from Mark Neville. The training that Councillor Shaw's been on, as she said, it is horrendous. I haven't been on it because there's different reasons I can't go into. It's not always suitable for everybody. But I'd like to also ask a question through the Chair. How many at each, I wouldn't say sitting, at session do they do? I do know there is another group that do them, and they would come a little like the dementia bus, and they do them in rooms, and they do tend to put themselves out for businesses, so that you can have a shop full of people go, but they only do like 5 or 6 people at a time. So that was the question I'd like to ask. Thank you.
Thank you. Come back on that. or something we will look into?
Yeah, I'm definitely going to look into it. So if you've got any contacts at County Councillor Shaw, I'll contact them directly.
Thank you, Councillor Shaw. Councillor Brewer, come back.
Would Melanie Williamson be the person to go to for this? Because although she's the Integrated Dementia Commissioner, would that be a place to start? I don't know. I don't know how it works.
Councillor Shaw, she can find out who, through her contacts, find out the
Chairman,
best person.
I can't answer that because
I know.
I actually don't
You don't know yet.
individuals. So I will ask.
Yeah.
Who I will go to is Councillor John Spence.
Okay, thank you. Any other questions or observations? No? I think that report again is to be noted. So, Councillor, noted. Thank you very much. Thank you. Right, councillors, item 8, the work programme, forward plan. We will now consider the committee's work programme for 24-25. Any questions or comments on the work programme would be most welcome. Members? Councillor Wilson.
Thanks, Chair. It's just a quick question, really. Is there any work that's going to be carried on into the next municipal year from the plan?
I do hope so, because I don't think we can get it all done with one more meeting to go. Councillor McPherson.
Councillor Wilson, can we not invite him again next time, because that was my question. But in all seriousness, when are we looking at the forward plan for next year? Because we should be putting in everything that's statutory and then adding everything else that we want to take forward, as Councillor Wilson just mentioned. Thank you.
Can we look at that next meeting and get that put together so we've got some idea what's happening next year? Any other comments or observations? No? Thank you. So I think that is now move a motion that the recommendations on 8.1 be approved. Can I have a seconder, please? Councillor Wilson. So now vote on the recommendations that the Council Committee approves its current work programme as per Appendix 1. All those in favour? I do believe that is unanimous. Right, so that now concludes our business for the evening at 7:48. Thank you very much, and I'll see you all next month, hopefully.